Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this afternoon's virtual honor session here at the University of Pittsburgh. My name is Ron Jankowski with the Office of Admissions and Financial Aid. And for the next 45 minutes, we will be talking everything Pitt Honors related. This is a group participation event. We will be taking your questions, and you can submit those questions on the YouTube chat page, and we'll be getting to as many of those as possible. We will also be having people working behind the scenes who will be responding to some of those questions in the chat box. And then lastly, those of you who did indeed pre-register, you received a number. You can go ahead and text your questions to that dedicated number as well. We do have 4 members of the University Honors College here at the University of Pittsburgh joining us today to answer your questions. Before we meet each of those individuals, so what I'd like to do first is congratulate all of you admitted students, those of you who had been admitted to Pitt's Honors College for this coming fall. We had a bang up year. Over 7,000 students applied for one of 600 spots. So congratulations to you for being admitted. What I'd like to do now is just go around and introduce our guests. First, I would like to introduce our acting dean of the Honors College, Dr. Audrey Morrell. Dr. Morrell, good to see you.
Thank you. And again, let me offer my congratulations to everyone as well. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you about the amazing portfolio of programs and opportunities that are Pitt Honors. Talk soon.
Next, I would like to introduce Assistant Dean of Pitt Honors, Dr. David Horniak. Dr. Horniak, nice to see you today.
Thanks, Ron. Welcome, everyone. If you have any questions about anything Honors College related, whether it's courses or research opportunities, we're here to answer them for you today.
Thank you. Next up, Manager of Recruitment for Pitt Honors, Mr. Matt Schultz. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Ron. Thanks for putting this together, and thank you to all of these students who will be joining us here today. As the Manager of Recruitment, I meet with prospective students and parents during a lot of my time throughout the day, and I know a little bit about everything. So I'm happy to answer any questions or clear up any issues any of you might have.
Thank you, Matt. And the 4th member of our panel today is the Manager of Honors Housing here at the University of Pittsburgh, Mr. Parker Werns. Hi, Parker.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. So as the Manager of Honors Housing, I deal with all of our first year and upper class housing communities within the Honors College. So super excited to talk about programming and any other student life stuff, questions you guys have.
Great. Well, it's wonderful having everybody here today. While we give our guests a chance to go ahead and start submitting questions, let me just start off with a general question, and I'll direct it to you, Dr. Morrell. What is this amazing, unique thing we have here at the University of Pittsburgh called Pitt Honors?
Well, I think the amazing thing about Pitt Honors is that we provide an opportunity for highly engaged students to have an enhancement to their academic experience that includes things both inside and outside the classroom. We have a portfolio of programs, including our joint degree program. So when you're admitted to the Honors College, you're part of that joint degree program, where you'll complete a series of courses and outside of the classroom activities, experiential learning opportunities. And at the end of that 3 or 4 years of your time here at Pitt, you will get a degree that says bachelor's degree with honors from the school that admitted you, arts and science or engineering, School of Computing and Information, and Pitt Honors. We also have great opportunities for you to engage in research, fellowship opportunities, funding for study abroad. So whatever you want to do to personalize your academic experience here at Pitt, Pitt Honors here is to support you and encourage you and provide those opportunities. And that is what makes us distinctive.
Excellent. Dr. Horniak, I mean, there's a lot of honors colleges, honors programs throughout the nation. You know, if I were to ask you, what makes Pitt's Honors College a little bit different, a little bit unique, how would you respond?
I think one of the biggest differences with Pitt Honors, as opposed to some of the other honors colleges out there, is that we take a very flexible and individualized approach to students. By that, I mean, you're given assigned to someone called a scholar mentor in the Honors College who works with you. And they work with you to look at what are your skills, what are you interested in, and what are your goals and aspirations, and then connect you with resources throughout the university. So unlike some other honors colleges that have a very structured format to their requirements, we take the individualized approach. So for example, some students might wish to get involved in research. Well, you can do that with Pitt Honors College. But some students might not be as interested in research. They might be more interested in community engagement. And so with Pitt Honors, we can tailor your academic plan to community engagement. And of course, there's always honors classes that you might be interested in taking. So the goal is that we look at each student as an individual and try to craft something unique for them.
Great, great. So Matt, I mean, you talk with a lot of prospective students and parents throughout the work that you do as manager of recruitment. What is the one thing, I guess, if you could possibly narrow it down, what is one thing that typically is asked of you that is maybe sometimes students or parents are surprised to hear about in terms of Pitt Honors? Matt, are you froze? I think Matt's froze. We'll come back to Matt, that question. Parker, let me ask you, as we all know, honors housing at the University of Pittsburgh for students admitted to the Honors College is not required. It is an option. Why don't you talk a little bit about the uniqueness of Pitt Honors housing here at the University of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I would really like to. I think our honors living learning communities really kind of encompass what we're trying to do at the Honors College at the University of Pittsburgh. We really put an emphasis on building community on your floor and in your building, as well as getting you connected to the resources and faculty and staff you need to really make your academic life shine. We'll have things like bringing in faculty for dinner. We have things like going on trips to DC and meeting with people with the Smithsonian. Last year, we met with someone who designed the exhibits in the National Air and Space Museum, which was very, very cool. And we also make sure that we kind of are putting people who are really good at a lot of different things, like all the students that we're bringing in, students, faculty, and staff. We're making sure that we're putting them all together so they can all experience kind of every aspect of what Pitt has to offer. It's a really cool place with a lot of really cool ideas, very interesting students, and there's always something really great going on.
Good, good. Matt, looks like you're back with us. You kind of disappeared into cyberspace there, but you're back. So let me ask the question of you again, Matt. So you meet with a lot of prospective students and their parents and talk to them throughout the year about Pitt Honors. What is one thing that you find that you talk to them a lot about and is sometimes a surprise to these prospective students and their parents? You tell them something, they catches them totally off guard. They go, oh, wow, I never thought about that.
I would say there are two major things that are continuing themes whenever I'm meeting with prospective high school students and parents. One of them is what Dr. Horniak referred to earlier, which is really the flexibility that the Honors College here has. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of program where, we do offer things like honors courses, but we encourage students to determine for themselves exactly how they get involved with those honors courses and which courses they take. The other thing that I think a lot of students are surprised about is the amount of undergraduate research that we try to support, particularly research that doesn't happen in the STEM fields. Of course, we support all types of research, including those in the natural sciences, but we have quite a bit of research taking place in the social sciences and humanities as well. And I would say those are two of the key points that students or parents are quite surprised by.
Great. So we had a question from one of our waitlist students, a student who has been put on the wait list for fall, wanting to know when they will find out about whether or not they're going to be taken off the wait list. So all students on the wait list will be notified of where they stand with that wait list decision after May 1st and no later than June 1st. So sometime during the month of May, essentially, students who are on the wait list will find out where they stand with the Honors College in their admission decision for next fall. Dr. Morrell, let me ask you a little bit about global and other engagement opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about those scholar communities?
Absolutely. One of the things that's part of the Honors Joint Degree Program is it's an expectation, it's a requirement that you're going to do at least 6 credits of experiential and or global. So that could be a project course, it could be a service learning course, or it could be one of the honors specific study abroad opportunities that we have for you to do a semester abroad. We have short-term spring break programs. So there really is an opportunity for the study abroad portion for you to customize it based on your interest and availability. The other thing that we have are something called scholar communities, which are a way for students and faculty to engage across different disciplines to be able to work on a specific topic that is important and of interest to them. So this fall, we launched the scholar community to deal with resilient food ecosystems. So what can we do to make sure that we have healthy and affordable food, that we look at the environmental impact on food, health and wellness, food policy, and the like. And so what this will do is give an opportunity for people to work across disciplines, because we do cross boundaries at Pitt Honors, and to work with faculty focused on a common interest, in this case, food. We'll be working on scholar communities on water sustainability and global health in the upcoming academic year. And so it really is an opportunity to take the learning from the classroom and do something in the world to make an impact together with faculty and students from across the campus.
Interesting, very interesting. Dr. Horniak, we have a question regarding honors classes themselves. I mean, can you talk a little bit about how they're selected, what types of subjects are covered in honors classes, and what are these classes like?
So we have honors classes across many disciplines, almost all disciplines, and they operate on both 2 levels. One is the basic introductory level, but then we also have more advanced upper level type honors courses. The whole idea behind honors courses is that you look at the content of the course in more depth. So you might not, they definitely don't move at a faster pace. Instead, they go more in depth into the understanding of the material. We often say that in an honors course, you might read more than a non-honors equivalent. You might write more. You might work harder problems. Definitely, you may be able to discuss more and have a more interaction with your fellow students, as well as with the professor who's teaching the course. The end result of this is that by going more in depth into an honors course, you're actually going to learn more. And so the advantage of especially an introductory level course is that it builds a very strong, solid foundation for more advanced study in that field. The most important thing when you're taking an honors course, or when you're thinking about taking an honors course, is that you have to be passionate about the subject matter. I was talking about how honors courses, you go more in depth, reading more, writing more, working harder problems. So yeah, they are more work, but think about in terms of things that you like to do, your hobbies. You may put in a lot of time into those hobbies, but it's not work, it's fun, it's enjoyable. You're passionate about your hobbies. So you should be passionate about what you want to study as well. And that, as much as anything, is a key to success in an honors course, a passion, an interest, and a desire to learn more about that particular topic.
Thank you, thank you. Parker, I'm going to throw this question out at you. Another question from another waitlist candidate. This individual wants to know if they're taken off the wait list and admitted to the Honors College during May, will they still have the opportunity in living in an honors living learning community for the fall?
So if you're taken off the wait list and you're looking to live in that honors living learning community for your first year, what I would definitely say is no matter what, you should be applying, you should be indicating your interest in that living learning community. We do not restrict access based on if you've been admitted or not. We just guarantee admission and give priority admission to those students who have already been accepted into the Honors College. So regardless, definitely apply to get access to all those cool programs and stuff like that. If you are admitted from the wait list, that will be factored in from housing and from us, and you'll be able to get that guaranteed admission to that living learning community. So either way, definitely apply, but you'll be able to get guaranteed as well.
Great, that's really good advice. Thank you. Matt, talk to us about this thing called the BPhil. What is all that about, and what is the BPhil?
Yeah, so the BPhil, that stands for the Bachelor of Philosophy degree, and that is a way that students can earn their undergraduate degree through the Honors College. Basically, what a student does is they decide, typically in the middle of their academic career, let's say late sophomore year, early junior year, that they wish to take on a very rigorous research project. They work on their research for multiple semesters, sometimes multiple years, and then they defend that research in front of an academic panel. And actually, Dr. Horniak, he oversees all of the students who work towards the Bachelor of Philosophy degree. So actually, I think I'm going to turn it over to him for some more details.
Thanks, Matt. I could talk to you a little bit more, especially about some of the projects that students are doing with the BPhil right now. So the whole idea behind the BPhil is that students work with a faculty member in depth over a long period of time. So it's not like it's just one big term paper. It's a multi-semester project, and faculty members give the student the opportunity to you engage in a long-term research project in the same way that a graduate student would, and the faculty member actually holds the students to the same standard as that of a graduate student. One of the interesting ones this year is in the social sciences, and I find it personally interesting because what the student did is she looked at young people's views of a local neighborhood in Pittsburgh. It's called East Liberty, and it's the neighborhood that I live in right now. And she looked at how young people's views of how the community has changed over time. And so she did a lot of interviews with people in the community. Of course, we have BPhils that are done through lab work, whether it's neuroscience or bioengineering, but we also have students in the creative arts who do BPhil research. One of my favorite types of BPhil research are students in studio arts, and what they do, or studio arts, also theater arts. Theater arts in particular is really interesting, because what a student does in theater arts is they actually produce a play. They select the play that they're going to produce. They select the actors, they audition the actors, they do the staging, the blocking, and then they actually do rehearsals and produce the play itself. Then, after the play is done in front of an audience, that student who did the BPhil stands up in front of everyone, and the entire audience just fires questions at them. So that is the type of scholarship that happens as part of the BPhil. And you can do the BPhil in any major. One of the questions I always get is, can I do this in whatever major I'm doing? And the answer is yes. Any undergraduate major can do the BPhil research project. So I highly encourage you to think about that. You wouldn't really do your BPhil research until your junior and senior year, but it's never too early to begin to learn how to do research and scholarship within your majors. And the best way to do that is to start talking to faculty members. And those of us in the Honors College can give you a lot of ways, we can coach you on a lot of ways to approach faculty members. I'll tell you one of the easiest ways to get to approach a faculty member is to ask them to start talking about themselves. And believe me, they will love to talk about themselves, and you probably won't get them to shut up. But it'll be a great experience for you to begin to build a relationship, and that's what's key to success in the BPhil.
Hey, let me follow that up with a question that we have from somebody. The question is, can pre-med students do B-Phils specific to medicine or even just chemistry?
Yes, students who are pursuing pre-med will can do a BPhil project within their majors. But what's really interesting and what's really exciting is whenever I have a student who might be, you said maybe chemistry, who might be majoring in chemistry and looking to go on to medical school, but they're also majoring in something like English literature. And talking with those students and understanding what they might be really passionate about and want to do their research in is really, really interesting to those of us in the Honors College. I think about the experiences I've had with students like that, and they come to me and they say, well, I'm going to be doing science type research, after I graduate. So, maybe I should do science research at a high level. But then I'm also in the humanities, and I really like that. Maybe I should do some research in English literature. Well, first of all, you can do research in both. And there's nothing to say that you can't. And I really do encourage you to do research in both areas. But then think about which one you're most passionate about. Talking about the pros and cons of doing that. Yeah, you might be doing research in the sciences in medical school as part of maybe an MD, PhD program. But also, maybe when you have the opportunity to really go in-depth research in the humanities when you're in medical school. So you might want to do your BPhil research in that area. I remember a student once, he had an opportunity to do a summer research project, and it was two options. One was to work in a research lab at Pitt Medical School. The other was to do a photojournalism type project where he traveled across the country. And he couldn't choose. They're both really exciting to him. So he started talking with a bunch of people, including some medical doctors at the Pitt Med School. And the best advice they gave him, and was the funniest advice, he was looking at what would best prepare me for medical school. And the medical doctors all told him, do what you're passionate about, because you won't go wrong. And so these are some fun decisions that we like to help you work through here at Pitt.
That's really amazing. It's really cool. Matt, we did have a question from a transfer student. Did not apply for Pitt Honors, but will be attending Pitt in the fall as a transfer student. Can you talk a little bit about the quote unquote admissions process for a transfer student to the University of Pittsburgh in Pitt Honors?
Sure. So for students who are transferring in from another institution, what we look at is we look for students to complete 2 semesters at the University of Pittsburgh. And after they've completed those 2 semesters, they can then apply into the Honors Joint Degree Program. And even for students who are maybe applied to the Honors College, but they're coming to Pitt this fall, regardless of that, we encourage those students to apply in after their first 2 semesters of their first year. And at that point, we are only looking at their University of Pittsburgh credentials. We're not looking at, SAT scores or ACTs. We ask you for a transcript. We ask you to complete a short essay. We ask you for a letter of recommendation from your academic advisor or a faculty member. And we also give you the option to submit a piece of supplemental material. So that could be a writing sample, an art project, anything like that. And we really do encourage students to apply in after they've been here for 2 semesters. And beyond that, we also encourage students to declare the honors distinction, which is available to all students at the University of Pittsburgh. That program is a little bit of a lighter lift because for that program, we ask students to earn 9 honors academic credits, 3 experiential credits, and also completing the honors outside the classroom curriculum, which I have a feeling we'll be asked about in a little bit as well.
Great, great. So, Dr. Morrell, we've had a question about advising. And what does advising mean in the Honors College? How does advising in the Honors College fit in with the student's professional school? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So when you come to Pitt, when you're in your academic area, in terms of being in the School of Community and Information or being in Arts and Science, you're given your academic major and your academic advisor for that major. And that's the primary person that helps you with those courses. But within the Honors College, you get an additional resource that are our scholar mentors. And what our scholar mentors do is that they help you navigate through all the different opportunities that are on the Honors College side of what you're doing during your time here at Pitt. So if you're interested in an early research opportunity, I saw one of the questions, how do I get involved in research as a first-year student? That's one of the things that the Honors College Scholar Mentors can help you do. How do I understand something about what does it take to complete the joint degree? Your scholar mentor can actually help you navigate that, getting involved in things outside of the classroom. So they're there to help you to navigate your way through the Honors College portion of the experience you have here at Pitt. And they're also going to be there to help you look at different opportunities for professional development, national scholarships, which I'm sure we could talk about a little bit more in detail as people are interested. And so they really are your chief academic navigator for the honors portion of what you're doing as you're here at Pitt. So you can think about it that you have 2 sources of advising, your academic advisor in your major and your scholar mentor within the Honors College. That's the best way to look at it.
Super, super. I'm going to focus this question towards you. Talk to us, there's some interest in some of the things that go on outside of academics in the Honors College. They refer to them as co-curricular activities. Can you touch on some of those?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, a little bit lag. Matt, go for it. Sorry.
Sure, no problem. So yeah, one of the requirements to earn the joint degree or the honors distinction is something we call co-curricular requirement or an experiential requirement. And just like with everything, an internship with a local business or a nonprofit, they can also complete a study abroad program. You can complete a research experience, all sorts of different ways to go about this. And what we have found with a lot of our students is that these are the types of things they're doing anyway. And this is a way to encourage all of our students to get involved in that way. And there's really no limit to it. And one of the best ways to figure out how to go about this is to meet with your scholar mentor, meet with your academic advisor, or, stop by the Honors College and speak to one of us. And if, we don't know exactly what to do in your case, we'll know who to direct you to.
Great. And we did have a follow-up question from the transfer student perspective. It just was, there's 2 ways basically to apply to Pitt Honors as a transfer student. You can apply when you're applying, first putting in your application to the University of Pittsburgh. You can apply then, or you can wait once you're enrolled here at the university, wait your first 2 semesters, and at the conclusion of that second semester, you can go ahead and apply internally to Pitt Honors. So just wanted to clarify that. We have a question, and I guess, Dr. Hornick, I'll throw this one to you. How many students are assigned to each scholarship mentor and academic advisor?
So for the scholarship mentors, if we have 600 in an entering class, and we have four scholarship mentors, so the range is around 150 to 200 students per per scholarship mentor. Within academic advisors, it's very different because some of them are generalist advisors in the Dietrich School, and they may also have several hundred students. But then once you get into your major, the majors are different sizes and different numbers of faculty members or full-time advising staff who can help students in the Dietrich School and also in engineering. And the numbers can tend to go a little bit smaller there. Within nursing, Sky, and the business school, you actually stay with your assigned academic advisor in those schools all 4 years, which is a very nice model so that someone really gets to know you very well over that time. Same thing happens with our scholar mentors, because you're with them over your entire time at Pitt, they really do get to know you a lot. How it happens, how you get assigned to a scholar mentor. Initially, it can be random. We sometimes look at the students' prospective interests and maybe pair them with a scholar mentor in that field. But you're not locked into that scholar mentor all 4 years. If there's someone else you want to work with, you are, of course, free to do that. That's actually one of the nice things about Pitt is that a bunch of different people can offer advice. They might not be your formal academic advisor who helps you with enrolling in classes, but any one of us in the Honors College can offer advice. Any faculty member can offer advice. Any staff member at the university can offer you advice. So you really do have a team of people behind you whose goal is to make you succeed at Pitt.
Great, that's great information. Just to remind everybody, you are observing today's virtual honors college session here at the University of Pittsburgh. My name is Ron Jankowski. I'm with the Office of Admissions and Financial Aid here at the University of Pittsburgh. And with me, I have 4 members of the Pitt Honors to answer any questions that you happen to have. We're trying to answer as many questions as you can. You can submit your questions via the YouTube chat. You can also, for those of you who pre-registered for today's session, you can text your questions to the number that was provided. And we also have some folks working behind the scenes to answer individual questions. Parker, let me ask this question of you. There's many different living learning communities at the University of Pittsburgh. And as we've discussed, students admitted to Pitt Honors are not required to live in honors housing. But for the students possibly who decide to live in the business living learning community, the engineering living learning community, just to name a few, if they decide to do that, do they still have the opportunity to participate in the activities that are going on in the honors living learning community?
Yeah, thanks. Absolutely. Sorry for jumping on the last question. I was just too excited to talk about Pitt Honors. I just had to talk. And yes, if you live in any other LLC, you're more than welcome to come to any of the Honors Housing LLC events. We host them up in Sutherland. So obviously it's a little bit of an easier trek from your floor to the main floor versus another part of campus to Sutherland. But you are obviously more than welcome to come. We let everybody in, so we can't wait.
Great, great. I guess I'll ask Matt this question here. What do you feel is the most rewarding part of participating in Pitt Honors?
I mean, I think that really depends on the student that you're asking, because with all of the different resources and programs that we have, the most rewarding thing, for each individual student is really individual to that student. For some, it might be, a wonderful experience they have through one of our research fellowships. For others, it might be the relationship they form with their, honors college advisor, their scholarship mentor. Other students, it might be the experience they have living in the Honors LLC, because we find that a lot of students, that's where they find their people, they find their best friends. Living in honors housing. So it really depends on, which student you might be asking. I mean, from my perspective, from what I see working with the students that I work with, it really just is the massive menu of resources and opportunities that we try to facilitate and offer to students. And that way they really are able to maximize their time as a student at Pitt.
Excellent, excellent. I'm going to push this question to Dr. Morrell because it seems that Dr. Horniak's dogs have decided to be the star of the show. So we're going to give the dogs a chance to cool down. But Dr. Morrell, this is an interesting question. How many honors college slots do you usually have open for students who apply to the program after 2 semesters at Pitt? And what percentage of those spots is reserved for students starting their sophomore year?
You know, it's an interesting question, and there's really not an answer to it right now. The joint degree program is actually new for the Honors College, as is the honors distinction. So we don't have historical data to be able to suggest a number. When it comes to people transferring into the honors program, there isn't a particular number or cap that we have in place. We really look at the number of students, the quality of the application in terms of what they feel as if the honors program can do to enhance their academic experience. So there's not a percentage or a cutoff that's reserved for students starting in their sophomore year. We really want to make sure that students have a strong academic start at Pitt and that they have some clear ideas about what they might want to do and accomplish as part of Pitt Honors. So we leave that total number flexible to provide opportunities for students who apply.
Well, the delivery man is gone. Dr. Horniak's dog is quiet again, so I'm going to throw this next question toward him. How does Pitt Honors tie in with study abroad?
Yes, the neighbors got an Instacart delivery, and the dogs did not like that. So the Honors College works very closely with study abroad. I think about my experience as a Pitt student when I was an undergrad. Study abroad was not nearly as available to undergrads as it is now. So we try to make study abroad very accessible to students, and I've seen it be one of the strengths of Pitt. Within the Honors College, we have someone who's dedicated to working with our global and experiential programming, which includes both study abroad, as well as what we call study away type programs, domestic programs outside of Pittsburgh. And we have the whole range of opportunities available for honors students, but in particular, we have some select type programs at prestigious universities outside of the United States. In particular, we have a lot in Great Britain, such as Cambridge, London School of Economics. We also have some programs in France with Sciences Po. So there are a lot of great international programs that are available for students to participate in.
Super. Matt, the question comes about, are there opportunities in the city of Pittsburgh for Pitt Honors students to take advantage of at a discounted or price or no cost at all?
Yes, there are plenty of things to do in and around the city that Pitt has kind of facilitated relationships with all of the different museums. The Carnegie Natural History Museum, the Carnegie Art Museum are all at no cost for all undergraduates at Pitt. You walk into the front door, you show them your Pitt University ID, and you can check out the museum, see what installations they have that day. They also have a really fun and interesting program called Pitt Arts, where they arrange for groups of students to go see a play or go see the Pittsburgh Orchestra or go see the ballet downtown at free or very minimal cost. And beyond that, Pitt students have very discounted tickets to the football games, which as a former Pitt student, I highly recommend. Basketball tickets at Pitt are a little bit, tougher to come by. But you are not going to run out of things to do with your free time as a student living in Pittsburgh.
Great, great. Dr. Morrell, let's talk about national scholarships. And what the Honors College has available to its students in terms of applying for national scholarships. Pitt students do very, very well in these national scholarships. And talk to us about what Pitt Honors does for its students in terms of applying for these national scholarships.
Well, yes, Pitt Honors and the University of Pittsburgh do very well in competing for national scholarships. And what national scholarships do is that they provide an opportunity for a student to compete for an award, which oftentimes comes with funding opportunities or support for them to do post undergraduate work at a university. They also give you a great deal of national recognition based on not only what you're going to do in the future, but what you've accomplished to date. Things like the Rhodes Scholar or the Marshall or the Churchill and the like. There are a whole range of them, some that are more general in nature, some that are specific to the particular academic discipline. And what we do at Pitt Honors is that our scholar mentors actually coach students who are interested in applying for a national scholarship. You are in that process going head to head with students at top universities, often around the country, often around the world. And so how do you prepare? How do you provide a summary and an explanation of all that you've accomplished? How do you get ready for the interview? How do you articulate all the things that you've done and would like to do in a way that can have the greatest impact on the selection committee? And if you've never been through that process, you don't understand how it is that you're able to do that. And that's exactly what our scholar mentors do, is that they help to coach you and to prepare you, and they walk with you through the entire process, from preparing the application, understanding what the criterion is, getting ready for the interviews, and oh yeah, the best part, celebrating when you win.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Horniak, question was, are there any required honors courses or other coursework required as part of the Pitt Honors beyond gen ed requirements?
So as part of the honors degree requirements, you do have to take a total of 18 honors credits. Now, what makes it fun is that there aren't specific courses you have to take. Instead, what you do is you work with your advisors, your academic advisors, as well as the scholar mentors to decide which honors courses are best for you. The important thing is that you work with your advisors to think about, what are your skills? What are you good at? What are you interested in? And what are your goals and aspirations? And then you use those to select the honors courses that best fit your needs. Most of the time they are within your major, within your area or field of study. But I also encourage you to explore honors courses that are outside of your area or field of study. Things that just sound interesting to you, that you want to learn more about. Again, it goes back to this idea of being passionate about what you want to study, what you want to look for. But yeah, there aren't specific courses you have to take, which is what makes it, I think what makes the Honors College and the Honors Program opportunities here at Pitt very appealing, because you can craft your own experience rather than someone telling you what you have to do.
Excellent, excellent. We just have a few moments left. There was a question earlier about undergrad research. Matt, I'll pose this question to you. As we all know, undergrad research is something that is readily available to undergraduates here at the University of Pittsburgh. But maybe you could talk briefly about, specific to Pitt Honors, the undergrad research opportunities that are available.
Sure. So the Honors College, as Ron was saying, more and more undergraduate students are getting involved in research, specifically their own independent research projects. So to help support those students, the Honors College offers quite a number of research programs. Some of them are more specific, like we have one designed for students who are doing health sciences research. We have other programs that are more general. But the common theme is that we want the students to share the research that they're actively working on with the other students in the program who are also working on their own research projects. So you get a lot of exposure to research going on all different fields. You also get practice explaining what it is you're doing research on to people who might not know a single thing about it. Besides that, our summer programs, the different ones that we offer, give students a pretty healthy stipend to cover all of their cost of living expenses. We won for
Dave, you want to finish that?
apply for to pursue a creative project.
Oh, you kind of froze there, Matt. Maybe you can just repeat those the last few sentences you mentioned because you kind of froze there.
Oh, sure. Sorry about that. So yeah, the different research fellowships we have that are offered over the summer, they give students a fairly healthy stipend, and we have one for that's available to all majors, one that's for health sciences, one for creative projects, and we have one for
Cyberspace just doesn't like what he has to say. He's not agreeing with them. But you're saying that there are a number of undergrad research opportunities, some of which are paid and some of which are not paid. But the research opportunities at the undergrad level in the Honors College are readily available to students who are interested in that. Well, that is going to basically wrap it up for us. I want to thank our panelists today for participating. It was informative as usual. And Matt, I'm going to ask you if you're there, if for anybody who has any last minute questions, maybe we didn't get a chance to answer, or just we spawned some new questions, they can get in touch with you specifically. You want to give out your email address?
Yes, my direct email address is mas216@pitt.edu. No question is too big or too small. If I don't know the answer, I will know who to direct you to on our staff, or if it's someone in another office like the admissions office, I'll direct you there.
One more time, Matt. One more time with that email address. That is
my email address.
Yes.
mas216@pitt.edu. Sorry, I'm like champing at the bit here.
No problem, no problem. Well, again, thank you all to all our panelists. Thank you to students and parents who are asking the questions. We hope to see you on campus soon. And until then, hail to Pitt.